Alrighty, so my name is Mark Zimmerman. I'm an artist, live out in the Black Hills, and today we're going to do some drawing. You will just need a few real basic supplies, a sheet of paper, 9 by 12, 8.5 by 11, something like that, just a regular sheet of white paper. You'll need a pencil and an eraser, probably. And a pen, a black pen is nice. I've got one of the old Papermate Flair pens, and that works really well. So if you can lay your hands on an old Flair, that's great. And then some crayons. Just a pack of 8 will do you. All we're going to do, and I promise, is use red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, black, and brown. If you've got one of those big fancy boxes of crayons with more, that's okay, but this is all we're going to use. I said that we'd be doing some drawing, but really what we're going to work on is seeing. Seeing like an artist, which is a little different than you're used to seeing. Seeing like an artist starts with focus, starts with concentration, starts with paying attention. So we're going to focus today. Anyone ever tell you you need to focus? Maybe. Focus. If you want to see, you have to look. Look, and then it's very important that you make yourselves wait. And you're waiting to realize what it is you're really looking at. And once you realize it, once you wait and you truly see it, you realize, then you just draw what you see. And that's actually the easy part. Drawing is easy. Drawing is where you drag your pencil or your pen around on a piece of paper. Seeing where to put it down, where to drag it over to, seeing all of that, that's actually the harder part. So we're going to work on seeing. And when you're drawing today, and you don't know where you're going, you're a little unsure, just stop, kind of naturally stop, take another look, and wait to see. Draw what you see, stop and look, wait to see. Sometimes I hear people call this the circle of seeing, and you can think of it that way if you like. The only thing that's not part of the circle is focus, and that's because we stay focused no matter where we are on the circle. So you got to keep your focus. If you lose your focus, try to get it back. If you have it, try to keep it. I'm going to do a drawing on this big sheet of paper, and I want you to just kind of follow what I do. We're going to do this one line at a time, and we'll get started here in just a sec. So we are ready to do our big drawing for me and your little drawing for you. You are again going to follow what I do. I'm going to start drawing with a big Sharpie so that you can see it. You are going to want to start with your pencil and, if you need to, your eraser. If I go too fast, you can just simply pause the video at any point and take your time. I will remind you that we are working on seeing. That starts with focus. You take a look, you wait, and waiting is so important that if you need to wait a little longer than I wait, just hit that pause, take your time, see it before you draw it, stop and look, wait to see another line. We're going to start by kind of keeping track of a few things, and I'm going to be looking at a little picture here. We're going to keep track of a few things. We're going to keep track of the middle, and I can kind of find the middle here. And I'm going to put way too big a dot on my paper. You can have a teeny tiny speck of a dot on yours. If it's big enough for you to see it, it's big enough. I'm going to kind of actually ruin my drawing with my great big dot, but that's okay. This is just practice anyway. So, and then we're going to put a dot on the top edge and the bottom edge in about the middle. This really is practice. And so if you're close to the middle, you'll be just fine. Let's put a dot on the left edge And the right edge. Left and right edge in about the middle. Again, no need to get too fussy with those. They're just little guides. They help us know, well, where the middle is, but also when we're on the left half, and when we're on the right half, when we're in the top half, and when we're in the bottom half. Okay, so, boy, I'm looking at this picture and there are lots of lines and lots of shapes. How many do you suppose we should start with? I always figure I have one pen and I can only draw one line at one time. So I only need to draw and look for and wait to see one line or one shape. I'm going to start between the dot here in the middle and the dot here on the left side. I'm going to start right about here in the middle between them. So about halfway. You could put a little dot there. That's where we're going to start this drawing. And I'm going to draw a shape first. And I always think of it as a fat apple, but I've been told it's more of a fat heart. So kind of a heart or an apple shape, and it's extra fat. Watch. Just wait. Don't draw while I draw. Don't guess where I'm going. Just wait to see and draw what you see. After you see it, then you draw. So go ahead. Draw this shape on your paper with your pencil. Got that? Alrighty. Now a shape we really have a name for. This is an oval. Watch this. Over on this side of our fat heart shape, there's an oval. And then, on the other side, across from it, inside the heart shape, there's another oval. And I maybe drew more of an egg that time, and that's okay. This is really just practice, and we're practicing seeing. Well, as long as we're drawing shapes we have a name for, let's draw a rectangle. Down underneath our fat heart, let's skip down a little ways, and let's draw a rectangle. It's kind of wide and not very tall. So there's our wide rectangle. We skipped a little space down below the heart shape. And I see a few lines in there. I see 3, but if you drew 2 or 3 or 4, you're fine. This is your drawing. Draw your drawing in your style. Don't worry about my style. Just do what you do. Alrighty. A couple little lines that stick out of our rectangle. From the bottom corners, little lines stick out this way. It's a short line, and a little line sticks out this way. Another short line. And then a curve, just like the bottom of a circle. In the picture I'm looking at, it's kind of smooth, but I think I kind of want some curly wiggles in the bottom of mine. You do what you want. Draw it in your style. It's just a curve. So I'm going to curve, and then I'm going to get crazy and come across. And you do what you want to do. You can leave all the crazy out, or you can put a little crazy in. I see a line here, and this is a line goes right alongside it. It's what's called a parallel line. Watch this. It goes straight up and straight up, right alongside each other like railroad tracks. So I have 2 lines, and they're parallel. Over here on the other side of the rectangle, 2 more little parallel lines, straight up, right alongside each other. All right. A couple of bumps. Inside this shape, find this shape and draw a couple of bumps. 1 and 2. That looks like a bit of a heart too, doesn't it? And then I think I'm going to draw a line here. I said I would draw 1, but I drew 3. Put 1 or 2 or 3 lines in there. And then let's go back to our fat heart, and let's go from where we started our drawing. And let's go halfway to the top of our paper. Let's go about halfway, straight up from here, halfway to the top, and let's draw a short little line that goes up and down. Let's draw a line. It's going to make a kind of a wide plus sign. I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to go right through the middle of our short line. And it's about half on one side, half on the other. Half on the left, half on the right. Makes a plus sign. Okay. From the bottom of the short line, I changed my mind. Let's go out here. Let's find this line and draw a curve. It's a C curve. It curves like a C just one way. Watch. And then I'm going to draw a backwards C curve. It curves just one way like a C too. Okay. Some of you might know what we're drawing, and that's okay. Don't think about it. What we're really drawing are lines and shapes. I'm going to draw a line here. Starts on the bottom of the short little line, and it's kind of parallel to this, maybe not perfectly parallel. Kind of. And then one that's kind of parallel to this. Starts on the bottom of the little line. Okay. Now, let's draw a C curve. This one's not so big. Just curves like a C, like the letter C. And then a backwards C curve. And then a line that connects these two curves goes straight across, or it's a little zigzaggy in the middle, or it's got little curly cues in the middle, or it's a little crazy in the middle, whatever you like. It's your drawing. You do what you like. They could go straight across. It can do anything you like. Could just be kind of lumpy, whatever. Okay. Let's do this next. I'm going to end up pretty close to the dot up here in the middle. You might be somewhere else, and that's okay. That's where I'm going to be. I'm going to start on the backwards C. And I'm going to go up here. Pretty close to the dot in the middle. And then I'm going to end on this backwards C. I'm going to come down like this. Do you see where it ends? We kind of want to know a couple things about every line. Where it starts, where it stops, and what it does in between. Do you know what you're drawing? I bet you do. And I bet sometimes these things have crazy horns. That's a horn. I'm going to start on the C, and this time I'm going to come down so I have twisted horns. If you want regular horns, you go up, just like you went up here. I'm going to come down though. I'm going to do this. Your choice. And then I'm going to come back up. Watch where this ends. Crazy twisted horns, huh? Let's see. How about some ears? Let's put some ears on this. Don't think about ears though. I'm going to think about an S curve. It curves one way and then the other and ends up making a shape. Watch if you can find the S. Starts here, curves one way, and then the other. And you see where it stops. So you know where it stops, where it starts, and how it curves in between. I have a problem over here because, well, not a big problem, but I've got a horn in front of my ear, don't I? So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to curve this way, and then it disappears for a little bit and comes back. I think next I get to draw a zigzaggy broken line. I kind of like that idea. Right down the middle of his ear. Watch, it's zigzaggy and broken. Do that in your style. Don't worry about copying me. Draw in your style. Same thing on the other ear. Kind of zigzaggy and broken. Well, what else does our cow need? How about some eyes? The picture I'm looking at, he's got both, or she's got both her eyes closed. I'm going to open one up so my cow is winking. So, first I'm going to draw the closed eye, and that's really simple. Just a little broken line. And there's our closed line, our closed eye. And to open up the eye, I'm just going to do this. You could put two open eyes, you could put two closed eyes, or you could do what I did and make them one eye open, one eye closed so she's winking. Alrighty, how about a circle? And another circle, or a square, or a rectangle, or any shape you feel like. I think I'll do a square. Inside the circle. Whatever you want. Any shape you like inside the circle. Now, put your pencil away and get your finger out. I want you to feel what it's like to go from here over to here. Feel that. And once you have a feel for it, then stop and look and wait to see where this line goes. Starts on top of the head, starts right here, goes up here. It does something when it gets to that horn. It stops and starts again. And you might notice that it ends kind of across from the bottom of the fat heart. So that helped me know how far down I wanted to draw that line. How about some C curves? One. Just curves a little bit, and it's curves just like a C. And then, how about a straight line across? Don't go too far. a curve that's kind of parallel to this. Maybe gets a little farther away from it at the top. Watch. See this space? I'm going to leave a space about that big over here, and I'm going to draw a line. It's really this line. Comes out here. And then I'm going to leave that space I talked about, and I'm going to go till I run into something. And whatever you run into will be just fine. You might run into it here, you might run into the tooth, you might run in up here. Anywhere will work. How about a C curve? It comes down just as far as those other C curves. And another C curve. With a little line in between them. Now, we need 2 more legs for our cow, don't we? I'm going to just draw a little line. I'm going to come up a little bit from this corner. So up a little bit from that corner and go out a little bit. And then a C curve like this, but this stops. Wait to see where it stops. And back here I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to come down and across and up. It didn't go down quite as far as this though, did it? So, what else do we need? We've got legs. We should have some hooves, I think, probably. And how about a tail? I'm going to start up here. And I'm going to, you can put the tail so it goes down or up. I think I kind of like up today. If you feel like going up, go up. If you feel like going down, go down. Just draw a C curve and then a little zigzag. And then a C curve back alongside that other C curve. Kind of parallel, not quite. And then we get to draw some zigzags. And I don't know why I'm looking at the picture because these aren't on the picture. I'm making all this up. We're artists, we get to do that. Zigzags. Put a tip on your cow's tail. All right, I'm going to start on this leg, the one that's in front. And I'm just going to find this corner and draw a line down. And this corner, and draw a line almost straight down. Maybe a little longer than I had it the first time. And then I'm going to draw a line straight across. And I have a hoof. I'm going to find this corner, the other front leg. And then I'm going to draw a slant down just like this slant. And then a line back across. And so some of that hoof is hiding behind the other hoof. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe I'm not going to put hooves on the back. I think I'm going to have my cow wear some special shoes. You could put soccer cleats, or I think I'm going to put ballet slippers on my cow. My cow's going to be a ballerina. All I'm going to do is start here and go out here and back and up. It's an oval. Try that. And then I'm going to start here and draw a little curve down. And then a little curve right here too. And now my cow has a ballet slipper on one back leg. She obviously has to stand up to dance. I'm going to start here, I'm going to come over here and down. What happens when I get there? I stop. And a little line here. A little line here. And you just make your second ballet slipper kind of like your first one. Not exactly. Okay. Well, I'm done drawing, but I think we should do something to it. We should turn it into some real art by adding our imagination. So take a little time and imagine what you would like to draw around your cow. Maybe not much. Maybe just little plant and we don't have a lot of room, so maybe just a little line of hills and some clouds. But you do what you want. You might have more room, and you can fill up your background if you like. So do that, and pause your video, and come back, and we'll talk about tracing. All right? When you trace this, and you use your black pen now, go over your pencil lines, go over every pencil line you drew, the cow and the background, change them all into marker lines or pen lines. And there's one thing I want to do before we get too far into tracing. So get your pen. Remember, you can pause this anytime you want. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to leave whatever little shape you put in the middle of the eye, I'm going to leave it white. I guess if both your eyes are closed, you don't have to do anything. But if you've got open eyes, darken this part the circle. You might have a little circle in the middle, you might have a square, you might have a triangle. It doesn't really matter what you have in there. Leave the littlest thing white and darken the circle around it. And then the next thing I think I'm going to do with the first thing I'll do before you trace is I'm just going to add a little, what are called hatch marks, some little lines in his nostrils. And then I'm done drawing my cow. I think you should take your time and trace your cow. And if you're still working on a background, go ahead and work on your background before you start tracing. So, pause your video, and when you come back, we'll work on color together. All right? Okay. Okay, so you've traced your cow, you've finished your background, and we're ready for color. We're going to use crayons, and we're going to build up layers of color, the way sometimes painters build up layers of paint. So we're going to put color on top of color on top of color. And we'll start with yellow. I just have those big fat crayons for little bitty kids. And I'm going to use those because I've got a big drawing and they're fast. And you might notice that I use the side of my crayon when I draw. You can use the end or you can use the side, whatever you like to do. I'm going to use the side, and what I'm going to do is draw, what part of a cow is yellow? How about the light shining on the cow? Does light usually come from above us, hit the top of our head, tops of our shoulders? It does, doesn't it? So if the light comes from above, it's going to hit the top of the cow's head, the top of the cow's back, a little bit down the front of its nose. So I'm going to be on this side when I do color. I'll work from the top, kind of down, and I'll try to stay out of your way. Again, if you need to pause the video at any time, you just go ahead and do that so that you can take your time. All right, light shining on a cow, coming from above. You do not need to keep up with me. Take your time, pause the video when you like. I'm going to put a little light coming down the bridge of her nose. And a little light shining on the top of the nose here. Just a little bit. Tempting to make those teeth yellow. And a little bit on the top of the chin too. A little bit, I'm going to leave the horns, and I'm going to do a little bit on top of the ear, on top of this ear. Take your time, stop if you need to, pause the video if you want. So lots of light shining on the back, the big back of the cow up here. Take your time, don't need to rush. If you feel like pausing that video, go ahead. A little light on this side of the tail. You decide which part of your tail is the top. Put a little light on that. Okay. Next color. Purple or violet. What part of a cow is purple? How about the shadows? If we have light shining on the top, I bet we have shadows on the bottom. Take your purple, add a little shadow. A little shadow here. If you've got the eye closed, do this. If your eye is open, put a little shadow down underneath and up around the side. Put a shadow in those nostrils. We don't want any light shining in there. Put a little shadow on the tongue. Put a little shadow on the bottom of the chin. Put a shadow on the bottom of her chin. Put a shadow on the bottom of the ear. Bottom of the tail. And then the bottom of the bottom. The bottom of the bottom here. And this whole leg, because that's the back leg, it's on the other side. We don't see that one so well. There's a shadow there. Shadow on the tummy. Down this leg a little bit. This whole leg, that's the leg on the other side again. And up here, it's real close to the, comes right up to the nose. think I like my purple. So I'm done with purple. Next color is blue. What part of a cow is blue, huh? Well, I'm going to put some shadows on white horns, and I'm going to put highlights on the black tip of her tail and the black hooves. So shadows, they go on the bottom again. So on the bottom, the underside of the horn. Again, I'm using the side of my crayon, and you can pause your video anytime you like. Little shadow there, and then kind of jumps across to the other side. Shadow there. A really, really, really light shadow in this eye, just in the top. And maybe a little bit of shadow on those teeth. What color do yellow and blue make? Yeah, now she's got some yellow and blue, which make green teeth. Okay. Let's find a red. And we're not going to do much with, I said we would do highlights on the tail and I forgot. So we're drawing light shining on the black tail. Just on the top side. Almost forgot some blue. Red next. And just a teeny little bit of a shadow in the red. And I'm going right over the purple. So I'm building up, for the first time I'm building up layers of color on top of color. And then I'm going to put a shadow on her nose. Just on the bottom of the nose. And if you've got ballet slippers, oh, I forgot more blue. If you've got ballet slippers, put a shadow on the bottom of the ballet slippers too. Anyone know which blue I forgot? How about a little highlight on the hoof here? Just a little light shining on that hoof. Maybe just a teeny bit of light on that other hoof, on the one on the other side. Orange next. So I'm going to go over the yellow, over the red, over the whole tongue, and over the white part too here. So over the yellow, kind of lightly over the yellow. Press harder where it's red. Press kind of medium where it's white. So I'm going over the red. You see the red change just a little? The yellow changes more, doesn't it? So pressing pretty hard on the red. Feel free to stop that video anytime you feel a little rushed. And you don't need to keep up either. And I noticed a little purple that I forgot. Inside those parallel lines, those little rectangles, they're the sides of her mouth. Let's do that purple too. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to go over those nostrils with red too while I have red. Change my mind about the nostrils. The red makes the purple even darker, doesn't it? And it makes it a kind of a red violet. I've got a little bit of a black crayon left, just enough to do the black on the cow. So on the tail, Leave the blue part blue. Make the white part black. On the hooves, make the white parts black and leave the blue parts blue, just like on the tail. So left the blue parts blue and the white turns black. And then inside the mouth, oh, and if you have ballet slippers, you and I need to go back with some orange and go over the slippers, over the red and over the white. I'm going to make those ballet slippers kind of orange. If you've got soccer cleats, you do what you want with them. If you've got hooves, then I guess your back hooves are just like the front hooves. One last color and then we're done. I've got a brown. It's a brown cow. I'm going to go lightly over yellow, kind of medium hard, press medium hard on the white, and I'm going to press harder yet where it's purple. I'll just start over here and work my way across, so I kind of work my way out of your way. Lightly over yellow, harder where it's purple, lightly where it's yellow, lightly where it's yellow, little harder where it's white, light where it's yellow, harder where it's white, light where it's yellow, harder yet where it's purple. Oh, anybody break a crayon besides me? Broken crayons work great. Lightly on the yellow ear, harder where it's purple. Kind of medium where it's white. We're done with the nose. Leave the nose alone in the middle of the face too. We'll leave that yellow. Oh, don't forget this purple. Go over that purple. Build up a nice layer of brown. Take your time. I'm going back and catching some spots I missed. So I'm going to leave this yellow. I'm going to come down this side of her face though. And I try not to forget her chin. And the top of this, top of her head, and this ear. That's our cow. I hope yours doesn't look like mine. I hope yours looks like yours. I hope everybody who's working has one that looks just like theirs and not like mine. We should all have our own style. So, I might do a couple things. I might put a little shadow down underneath. I might make my plant kind of green. Splash some grass around. Decide what color your flower is if you have one. I'm going to put a coat of purple in the sky. And come back with a little blue. Pause this if I'm going too fast because I'm kind of finishing now. Drawing the speed I normally draw. And maybe put a little light on these hills. Give them just a little bit of brown. And I'm going to come back with just a touch of green on top of the yellow, on top of the orange, and on top of the brown. When you are all done, sign them. That's a Z for my last name and an apostrophe 20 for 2020. And that's our cow. I hope you had fun. I did. Bye-bye.